Welcome to Still Mind Suttas. In today's episode, we'll sit with a teaching that explores how the Buddha spoke and why intention and timing matter as much as the words themselves. This discourse, known as the Conversation with Prince Abhaya, looks closely at the difference between speech that simply feels pleasant and speech that is genuinely beneficial. It's a reminder many of us need in daily life. Whether we're navigating work, family conversations, or the tense moments that arise inside our own minds. As you listen, feel free to settle your breath, loosen whatever tension you're carrying, and let the story unfold at its own gentle pace. In this discourse, the Buddha is staying near Rajagaha, in the bamboo forest known as the Squirrel Sanctuary. It is a peaceful place, tall bamboo swaying in the wind, the rustle of leaves, and the quiet presence of the awakened ones who live there. Nearby, Prince Abhaya, respected, confident, and close to the ruling family, seeks counsel from Nigantha Nadaputa, a prominent religious teacher of the time. The prince bows and sits respectfully, but instead of offering guidance, Nadaputa offers him a challenge. He urges the prince to confront the Buddha, to trap him in a question with no clean answer. Refute the words of Gautama the contemplative, he says, and you will be praised everywhere. Nadaputa lays out the strategy. Ask whether the Buddha ever speaks words that are unpleasing or disagreeable to others. If the Buddha says yes, accuse him of being no different from ordinary people. If he says no, bring up his criticism of Devadatta, which Devadatta found deeply upsetting. In either case, Nadaputa promises, the Buddha will be stuck, unable to answer. The prince listens. He agrees to attempt this challenge, though he senses the weight of such an encounter. Rising, he bows, circles Nadaputa, and then departs for the bamboo forest. When he arrives before the Buddha, however, something softens in him. He looks up at the sun and thinks, today is not the time. Instead, he invites the Buddha and 3 others to take their meal at his home the next day. The Buddha accepts silently, as is his custom. The next morning, the Buddha robes himself, takes his alms bowl, and walks calmly to the prince's home. The prince offers food respectfully, serving the Buddha with his own hands. When the meal is finished and the Buddha has washed his bowl, Prince Abhaya takes a seat beside him. It is then that the prince presents Nadaputa's challenge. Lord, he asks, would the Tathagata speak words that are unendearing and disagreeable to others? The Buddha replies gently, Prince, there is no categorical yes or no answer to that. Immediately, the prince realizes what this means. The trap set for him collapses. Then, Lord, he says, relieved and amazed, the Niganthas are destroyed, and he recounts exactly what Nadaputa instructed him to do. As the prince finishes speaking, a small child lies across his lap, his own infant son. The Buddha looks at the child and asks a simple, human question. Prince, if this young boy, through your negligence or the nurses, were to put a stick or a pebble into his mouth, what would you do? The prince answers without hesitation, I would remove it immediately. If I could not, I would hold his head and hook it out with my finger, even if it caused bleeding. Why? Because I have sympathy for the boy. The Buddha uses this natural instinct to illuminate his teaching. In the same way, Prince, he says, the Tathagata speaks with sympathy for living beings. He explains that speech is not judged simply by whether it is pleasant or unpleasant. Instead, he speaks only what is true and beneficial, and even then, only at the right time. The Buddha lays out 6 kinds of speech he considers. He does not speak what is false and unbeneficial, whether pleasant or unpleasant. He does not speak what is true yet unbeneficial, whether pleasant or unpleasant. But when something is true, beneficial, and leads to the good, he speaks it, whether people will find it agreeable or disagreeable, because compassion guides his timing and his intention. This is a clear teaching on right speech, but also on the deeper qualities behind it: wisdom, purpose, and care for the well-being of others. The prince reflects on this for a moment, and then another question arises in him, one that reveals his respect for the Buddha's clarity. When wise people come to question the Buddha, he asks, does the Buddha already know how he will answer, or does he respond spontaneously? The Buddha does not answer directly. Instead, he asks the prince a question of his own. Prince, are you skilled in the parts of a chariot? The prince smiles. Yes, Lord, I am skilled in the parts of a chariot. When people come and ask the name of a certain part, the Buddha continues, do you prepare your answer beforehand, or do you answer on the spot? The prince replies, I answer on the spot. All the parts are familiar to me. The Buddha nods. In the same way, Prince, when people come with questions, the Tathagata answers on the spot. Why? Because the nature of the Dhamma has been thoroughly penetrated. Understanding it fully, the answers appear naturally. Hearing this, the prince experiences a shift, like a veil being lifted. He praises the Buddha the way one might rejoice at a lamp brought into darkness or a path revealed to someone lost. With sincerity and clarity, he declares his refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, committing himself as a lay follower for life. The encounter that began as an attempted trap becomes instead a moment of deep understanding. And this is the heart of the sutta. The Buddha teaches not merely what to say, but how to speak from compassion, discernment, and truth. He shows that timing matters, intention matters, and truthful speech is not always pleasant, nor should it be, but it should always be rooted in care for the listener's well-being. Reflecting on this teaching, we can bring its wisdom into our own lives. Speech is one of the simplest places where suffering is created or relieved. Before speaking, we can pause and ask, is this true? Is this beneficial? Is this the right time to say it? And am I speaking from kindness, not from anger or pride? We may not always succeed, but each moment of mindfulness in speech becomes a moment of compassion, a way of gently removing the harmful pebbles from our own hearts and from the hearts of others. Thank you for spending this time with Still Mind Suttas. The heart of this teaching is simple. Wise speech isn't defined by whether it pleases or displeases someone, but by whether it is true, helpful, and offered with genuine care. The Buddha points us toward a way of speaking that protects others, just as we would protect a child. Firm when needed, gentle when possible, and always grounded in compassion. As you move through your day, you might notice the small crossroads before you speak. The pause, the intention, the choice to respond rather than react. Even a single mindful moment can soften the tone of a conversation or ease pressure within your own mind. If these reflections support your practice, you're welcome to return for more episodes or subscribe in your own time. May your words and the heart behind them bring clarity and kindness to those around you.